Hey guys, we're live. We're on episode 3 of our music club called A.C.R.O.N.M. Thanks for coming.
A.C.R.O.N.M, oh acronym, that's A.C.R.O.N.Y.M. We started a little music club and we called it A.C.R.O.N.M. We can't go on tour again until this damn pandemic ends. Until then, friends, won't you come on in and join us for A.C.R.O.N.M. Analytical criticism regarding objectively narrowing your music.
What's up, boys?
How's it going?
It's a catchy song, isn't it?
It is. Well
Episode 3.
Absolutely. You know,
Episode 3.
a couple months ago, if someone would have said, do you think you'd make it to episode 3? I'd be like, of course, this is easy. Just talk.
The amount of hours.
How hard
that we
can this
put
be
in.
to continue? Yeah, we have time. We're musicians. And what are we supposed to do? Hi, everybody. Hope you guys are well. As the world keeps changing, we have reached episode 3, the Manitoba portion of the Great Canadian Highway. Here's a Google Maps copyrighted version of the route from Thunder Bay, where we left off last time, all the way over to Winnipeg. It says about 7.5 hours. I know we've done it shorter, and I know we've done it longer. But the key when you're heading west is you gain an hour, don't you? That's the thing, right? So even though if you're a little late in the morning getting out of Thunder Bay, it's a little earlier in Winnipeg, so it works that way. Anything you guys want to comment on before we get into the music that we listened to this week?
No, I don't think so. It's nice to see
I got
you guys.
some.
What's that?
We can show it later, but I think I don't know if did you get the map I sent, Kay, that had I put a radius map where you can see how far Winnipeg is,
right,
and
you
how
did send
far
me
other stuff is. For example, Jacksonville, Florida.
There you go. There's
See
the
that?
link. There it is right there. Another copyrighted Google Maps we're going to show you right here. So yeah, to get to Winnipeg, you could go to Florida, you could get to Texas almost, Nashville, any of those other places as well.
Yeah. But we chose to go to Winnipeg most of the time when we leave for tour. So
because it's a great place, and you're going to find out why we love it so much.
Yeah.
That's the thing, right?
It's like home away from home.
Absolutely. So Steve, as always, you do get to lead off the show.
It's always a challenge, guys. I think today's is the show of the underdog for Stevie.
You know,
I picked some different acts. 2 of the songs, I confess, are not my favorite songs in the whole wide world, but I chose them because of the relevance to Winnipeg. And I guess the first song plays right into that. Let me give you a hint what it's going to be, okay? I brought my keyboard.
I just flashed them the hint, but here we go.
Okay.
I didn't know.
You guys don't really know, though, right?
No one saw it. No one saw it.
Anybody?
Maestro Fresh West.
Yes, Matt. Nice. See if I can talk.
Amazing.
I can't talk and play at the same time. Why did I choose These Eyes?
Great question, everybody, because you called me yesterday to apologize for picking this song, which I love.
What term did I use? I don't know.
I just think that's amazing that you would apologize, because Steve knows how I feel about this song.
Well, you know what I love about the song actually is the start, and I love the way it. I mean, Burton Cummings is a great singer, and he nails it. Right? These guys were like 22, 23. It was the Guess Who's flagship song that really put them on the map. So, and all roads, as we know, lead to Bachman, and Bachman is from Winnipeg. So that's the reason I thought that we need to lead off this with. Yeah, I mean, it's not a Burton. Well, I mean, it's a Cummings Bachman song.
That's right.
And I guess they would be considered the Lennon McCartney of Canada. Is it
the underdog version of them? Maybe is that what you're saying? See, I said it to you yesterday. I feel like that piano line is like if a little kid walked up to a piano, it would be the first thing they would do. And I'm not saying that believe me, I know that I'm not like technically a great.
Or the other part of the song, right? These Eyes.
There you go. I'm glad that you have the riff to back it up. That makes it even better for me.
Actually, yeah, go on. Sorry.
To be honest, I mean, here they are here. Here's a good look at them around that time. Is that Elton John in the band there on the right? I don't know.
I think that's the drummer. I don't know what his name is, but
he owns the band name now, I believe.
Oh, that's right. Because, I mean, as always, you know who else loves this band? That's right. A good friend. She is a huge fan of These Eyes. It might have even been I think that song was on in the background in that famous tape she made. Is that right? I don't know.
I watched the documentary on her. It's not good.
So huge fan of the band, obviously. And there you go, Steve.
Wow. Why does
She likes all your picks. It's funny. She likes every one of your picks.
Yeah, that's the plan, right? So why does it say Lightfoot on that CD that she's holding?
I don't know.
Okay,
I'm getting these images off of like my first search.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, I'm doing this quick.
Someone will know. Bachman could tell us. Just listen to Randy's Vinyl Tap.
You know why? Because Lightfoot is the B-side to that, Steve. Lightfoot is the song, the B-side to. That's what it is.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what it is.
So what is the big redeeming quality for you about this song?
Well,
Like,
okay, like I said, the beginning is fucking, excuse my language. The beginning, I said it. I used the bad
That's
word.
good. You're passionate.
The beginning is friggin' awesome.
Disagree.
Like, it's like everybody wants to kind of play that a little bit, but then it descends into like, the problem is for me with the song, I'd rather get under the negatives because once it gets into these eyes, I've seen a lot of love. It's like, it keeps changing key until oblivion. Like, to me, it's still changing key in my head. Like, even when I sleep, he's still singing.
I think they should speed it up as well. I think it should go up a key and speed up as well until you can't do it anymore. Until his head explodes.
Yeah, that's what it is. It's like, until he goes to heaven. I don't know what the point is. It's sort
Plus,
of like,
it's also, obviously sampled by Maestro, which was a great sample and use of in his version of that, where he, samples a bunch of that song. So that's another rebirth in the Canadian catalog.
I should have put that one maybe as my pick, but can I say I picked the Massey Hall version because Burton's a little bit older. I think he's got a band of pros. I think one of our friends, Tim Bobacani, is in the band at that point. But what I heard was it's a different key. I think he's brought it down so that either so he can sing higher at the end or just so that he can make those notes because it's really high.
Well, it's a hard song to sing.
Yeah,
He's a pretty decent singer. Like, in all fairness.
Yeah, I'm just kidding around here. I just joking around. But we have a story about Burton that maybe we can talk about when we talk to our friend Grant Siemens a little bit later on. So we'll get back to the Guess Who.
We can't forget that story. That's the other reason I picked the song.
Yeah. Do you have the bell, by the way? Because we're going on and on about the Guess Who. Ring the bell.
Hold on. Wait for it.
Beautiful. Good discussion. And we have heated discussions about this, about certain bands and stuff like that. But here we go. Let's move on to Mark's first pick.
Okay. My first pick is Mr. Rabbit by Paul Westerberg, better known as the leader of the Replacements. When I was a kid, actually, supposedly they played, I was there, I guess, Assumption High School. And I think the guy from Billions, the guy that owned Billions back in the day, was the guy that actually booked them. I kind of remember going, it was like in the late 80s. But anyways, this song kind of popped into my playlist out of nowhere this summer as I was working on the camper that we bought, as everybody buys one during the pandemic. And it's just such a brilliant tune. And the thing is, it turns out that it's a Burl Ives song. Burl Ives, better known as all those Christmas tunes that you would know.
He plays Frosty the Snowman.
All of those ones. And it's such a sweet tune when Burl Ives does it. It's so clean and pure.
Oh, I lost your voice.
You got muted.
Oh, did I?
You're back.
Okay, you're back.
Whatever he said was super important.
Don't touch your buttons.
Yeah, when I didn't touch any buttons.
Don't touch your buttons.
When he sings "Every Soul Must Shine" is a brilliant little line, right?
I would suggest, if you have not listened to these playlists, I know we're having fun here, but you should really listen to these tracks. That was one I had not heard before, and I have so many comments on that one. Like I said earlier, I was like, it sounds like the guitar riff is like someone dropping a guitar and then quickly grabbing it and then repeating that sound. It's such an interesting little jagged thing. And like guitar tone, you win this week definitely for guitar tone, drum, everything about the sound of this song is like production-wise incredible.
That's the one thing that I love about it. It's so simple. It's a very raw version. Because when you go back to the original version, the Burl Ives version, it's so pure and Burl can sing beautifully. But this one is just like
Oh, he paused.
We've got a bad connection down there.
Pause. You look good. Pause there.
I know. I cut out. Sorry.
It's okay. Not your fault.
You've promoted the song well, in my mind, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, I really like the song. It made me want to listen to more. I don't really, Paul Westerberg to me is from like the single soundtrack. That's how I know. Does he not have that one? That's how I was like introduced to a lot of those. To him especially was like that one song All My Life. I think it's that one. Again,
Well, it's kind of interesting that he would skip over a generation, right? Like they were really big in the 80s, the Replacements. They're
I think this is one of those bands that I never for some reason knew as much as it like should. And now I can go back and listen to him a bit more. Like I literally knew him from that single soundtrack. Like that's how I found the Screaming Trees and a bunch of those other bands too. But.
And it's funny, I picked him because I'm like, oh, it's like the Winnipeg area. It's Minneapolis, Winnipeg. And I'm like, how did I skip over like not choosing Neil Young and actually,
Neil Young's going to do fine without us.
Yeah, but Don't Be Denied. Don't Be
Yeah,
Denied is such a great tune. I should have actually, in all hindsight this morning, I was like, why didn't I pick that?
Yeah, and even on the way out Falcon Lake, when you first get into Winnipeg, that's a relatively famous place in Neil Young history because he first heard Four Strong Winds there with his girlfriend and became a huge influence on the way he wrote music. So yeah, he's also Manitoba's son. Not many people, most people think Ontario and Toronto owe me, but he spent his formative years obviously in Winnipeg. Our buddy Kevin Derbyshire out there has his yearbooks and stuff. He could dig deeper into it, but I think this song is great. I really liked it. It was like I was surprised by it, so it was cool for me. Yep. And I still like the Guess Who, Steve. Don't worry, I'm just saying. I like this one a little bit more.
Right.
All right, we're moving on. Ring that bell.
You're up next, Kay. Here you go.
Okay.
All right, my pick again comes from my spiritual travel guru, our sound tech and friend Noah Camus. That's how I discovered Wendy Renee. The song is called After Laughter Comes Tears. I think it's made more famous by, I believe, the Wu-Tang. No, the Fugees. Someone sampled this song. I forget who it is. He told me all this stuff. This is stuff I never researched. I don't go down that rabbit hole. But as I think I tweeted out earlier, it's a song that's dominated by this amazing background vocal that just keeps repeating, and she sort of sings over it. Like the background chorus comes in before she joins it, and it's just an amazing way to structure a song. It's like almost impossibly slow, like reggae vibe that it has. So Noah is the one who introduced it to me, and I think we mostly listen to it after shows, or those late drives, just that like incredible sound. And like I said, I think she was made more popular by sort of being sampled and back into the limelight. Oh, let's put up something here from our friend Hank. He must be late over there, buddy. In the middle of the night he's watching. I love it. This guy who you see on screen right now is one of our favorite friends from Holland, Hank Kroll. And we'll see you as soon as we can. My friend. We just can't wait. But yeah, Wendy Renee, check this one out. It's a really kind of slow, like soulful thing. I don't know what else to say about it other than it's one of those ones that seems dominated by like background vocals. And I thought that was pretty interesting.
Well, it's just such a brilliant tune. It is. Like when you like the lyrics, everything about it. And it's so soulful. Like 1960s.
Here she is here. She's just a young kid at this point, obviously. I don't know how old she was when she sang the song, but probably not that young. Maybe she was. Who knows? This is a press photo from 19 whatever year this would have been.
That's a good press photo. Beats all ours.
Yeah, it's keep it simple, right? Exactly. Yeah. All right. So I would hope you listen to this song. She has, and it's also a gateway track to this amazing song called Barbecue, just a party song called Barbecue that is just incredible. So check that one out. And I cede my time.
What am I supposed to do?
The rest, we're going to go back to Steve.
You're up, Steve.
There you go.
There's the dinger. It's like a little school bell thing.
Yeah, we're right into the heart of Winnipeg right now.
Yeah, so my song, my next song, I wanted to pick something from Rami Mays because she's been coming to our shows for as long as I can remember. Maybe not the first one, but
she probably was at the second one.
A lot of the Times Change shows. That's Times Change is a club that we'll get more into. She showed up. I don't think she's opened for us or played with us, but definitely heard her music and we've seen her play. There she is. Rami is like, she's a free spirit. She goes all the way to Texas all the time and records down there, and she's got bands and up and down. Yeah, you have her album there in the corner, and that's where I chose my song from, which is called "Make Your Move." She doesn't mince words in this song, as I like.
No.
Description. Make Your Move. You can imagine what she's singing about. You'll hear it on the
Chess?
list.
Checkers.
And who's that? Who's hot or sober?
I don't know. It's someone leaving a comment who loves
Rami.
Rami.
So I'm not the only one. And she's sort of one of the guys. She always showed up at the shows, and as I said, she works really hard, and I wanted to kind of showcase her. I think the album was produced by Grant Siemens, who is our guest today, and it sounds like he's likely playing a guitar on it. I'd like to query
Well,
him.
you have to ask him. Yeah.
Yeah,
exactly.
this really soulful guitar.
They have, as we'll come to find, and as we'll discuss it as he comes on, is like that Winnipeg music community is so unique. Like I was thinking about it, is like when we get to Winnipeg, everyone we hang out with there are musicians. It's not like that in every town. A lot of times we'll hang out with people who like the music and come to see us, but when we're at like the Times or whatever, half the crowd is like Neville and like Siemens and Rami,
D-Rangers.
our friends, Jackson and Pussy. They're all like, so it's like when we get there, it's a complete music crowd, and it's just like, and we'll discuss the Times change and how they support their local scene like almost no one else.
And the Winnipeg Folk Festival, of course.
Yeah,
stunning event.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Beautiful. Good job. We love Rami. We love you. We hope you're doing well. I know that you are likely suffering like the rest of us through this.
Oh, I think she's doing, I looked her up. I think she's doing a live online curbside. That's right. Promoting shows on that. So
in Winnipeg right now, because it's like a minus. We'll ask Grant how cold it is there.
Well, they were doing it. They were doing it since the summertime. I think that's
indoors or outdoors.
It's outdoors.
Curbside sounds pretty outside to me, man. Ooh, that's tough. But they, again, they laugh at the rest of us. They know what cold is. They don't have whatever.
That's why they have Caribou.
Exactly. That's what I'm drinking right now, right here. I made a little commercial for Caribou.
Well, and then I'll just get into Festival de Voyageur.
Yeah.
Like in the middle of winter, people no shirts, like just a
it's
shirt on, no jackets.
Winnipeg is another level on many levels. Anyways, we're moving on to Mark's second pick because we do want to get to discuss some of these venues and that as well.
Yeah, sure.
You picked a band called Zune and a song called Broken Head, which is also an interesting, cool choice, I think.
Okay, so there's a whole bunch of like tentacles that actually tie this all together for this one. So Daniel sent us a message via Instagram Messenger, reaching out to be like, hey, we're on labels together because we're on Paper Bag Records together, or were. And turns out that his brother has seen us, bought him Mountain Meadows way back in the day. But the best thing is he's a transplant now from Winnipeg to Hamilton. He met some tree planters, some really cool dudes, he said, when he was tree planting, these two cool guys. And they're like, hey, man, don't go to Toronto. You got to come to Hamilton. Come hang out in Hamilton. And it's Dan.
Oh, wow.
And I was going to say Patty Hayes, but Jimmy Hayes. Those are the two tree planters that he meets, which are the coolest dudes.
And Dan Edmonds has new music coming out. He just announced it.
Just today, actually.
Amazing.
Just today.
Yeah.
Anyways, so this is not one of my usual go-tos, but like this album
I was surprised
beautiful.
by it. Yeah, it's like I was like, Mark, really? This is like shoegazer. Like, it's great though.
But the one thing is, like, if I hadn't met him, I don't think I would have given it a chance and actually listened to it. But once you meet somebody and you're like, oh, we hung out actually at down the street from my place. We were hanging out with Dill, my buddy Dill, and he
mayor
had
of Hamilton.
Daniel over. Yeah. And it was just like, it was a great hang. So I decided to check out Daniel's music. And then there's a great interview on CBC about him actually getting sober and being able to get back into music. And this one is a whole healing
Oh, wow. Cool.
arc.
I didn't realize that was them. I remember the interview. That was okay. I remember hearing the interview, I think.
Yeah, it's gorgeous.
It also reminds me a lot of like, you got Neutral Milk Hotel vibes in there, Flaming Lips. Like it has so many good recipe ingredients in it, seemingly. And I believe that whole song, it is instrumental, right? There's no lyrics in that. Is there singing in that one? I don't feel like.
No, this one.
Is it instrumental? I thought it was instrumental for some reason.
No, I don't think so.
There's words.
There's probably words. I might just have, I don't know. I can't remember. There's a lot.
Unless I picked
a
the
lot
wrong
going
song.
on. No, it seemed like, I don't remember hearing the words. I don't know. Listen to a lot of stuff. Either way, what I did get out of it was a completely like Neutral Milk and like Fuzzy Flaming Lips, like amazing sort of like that. That's what it reminded me of, which I thought was.
And he, you know what I mean? Like he produces it himself, writes it, does it all himself. It's great.
Nice.
So it wouldn't be my regular pick, but I figured since he's from Winnipeg, it's new to me, and I figured put it back out there. And
it's a great name too. Zune is a sweet.
Yeah,
it's just a great name. I think it's like,
and I think the whole album is called Bleached Waves, right? I believe.
Yes, it's. I think so. Bleached Waves, is that what it's called?
Yeah, I believe that's the whole album. Yeah.
Let's see here. It is called. Yeah, I don't have my research done perfectly well here.
Is the album up there?
Yeah, there. Well, I mean, it doesn't. That's what it looks like in the top right there. But it's hard to, obviously, it doesn't have a name on it.
Anyways, he's crafting great tunes. It's like it wouldn't be something I would normally pick, but I really enjoy
look at those. There's two amazing jazz masters in this band. That's pretty good. That's kind of cool. All right, up to me? All right, this one I don't want to spend. I could spend all day talking about this song, and Mark probably could too.
Now
Now it's the one I put Matt Anderson's version on the Spotify playlist because it will. The original is not on there. There's none. Willie P. Bennett's version is somehow not on Spotify, but it is on the YouTube one. But neither of those versions are my favorite versions, anyways, because Blue Rodeo on their recent tour does, I think, the best version I've ever heard of it.
With Jimmy Boskill.
With Jimmy Boskill leading it, and it's seriously like. This is one of those songs that I originally heard it in Winnipeg backstage at the Folk Fest, and I didn't know what it was. It was Andrew Neville was singing it, I think. Rami was there. It was just one of those like circle things at like 3 a.m. And like I remember the song, but I didn't even think to ask who it was. Other things were going on, and it was in my head. And then I literally, when we were with Blue Rodeo this time last year, one of our last shows, to be honest, they played it with Jimmy Boskill, who is this. If you don't know who he is, look him up. He is an incredibly like multi-talented singer, pedal steel, mandolin, anything you want.
Sheepdogs for a bit, right?
He's played with the Sheepdogs, absolutely, still does. But this version they do with Blue Rodeo is unbelievable. Lyrically, it's a perfect song. I think it is. I just loved it. There's one of the lines is I watched as my desire turned from me to her. It's a story of this gambler who like a woman takes over his life, and then what's the other one? The chorus is one of the best lines. Is she'll curse you and she'll haunt you and do it with a smile. And I think that is like one of the best ways to describe. Or it puts me right in his shoes, I guess. And the melody of the song, everything about it. I don't know if you could think of anything negative about the song. It's absolutely gorgeous.
It's a classic. We should mine a little more of the Willie P. Bennett catalog because, he was supposed to be a giant.
Well, the thing I didn't know, Blackie and the Rodeo Kings is a Willie P. song.
That's
right.
Their
band name is taken from a Willie P. song. I had no idea until I looked it up.
Yeah.
Mark disappeared.
He'll come back.
Get
your kids off the games.
Yeah, but that's one of those song discoveries that I found at the Winnipeg Folk Fest, and that's a long time ago.
Oh, I didn't know that. Yeah. Wow, cool.
Well, you're up next anyways until Mark comes back.
Rodeo played it was phenomenal.
Their version is. I hope there's a recording of it. I'm sure they've recorded it somewhere. But
they knew how to really like give it.
Boskill lives that song. It's one of those ones when you see him sing it, it's just like, wow, that is like incredible. He's so good.
Oh yeah.
Well, let's see if Mark comes back. We'll switch to yours quickly here. Your next pick.
Yeah. Oh, I could talk. Yeah.
You go. The Buffalo.
Well, thanks for reminding me of my song. For what it's worth.
You got to remember what it is, right?
Yeah. The funny thing about this, it's more to me, it's another avenue to Bachman. And did you know that Neil Young, I read somewhere that he really wanted to get Bachman's guitar tone. And, he was striving for that. And I think when Neil left Winnipeg in his hearse, and he met Stills in Thunder Bay, and swore that he was going to meet him again one day, he went and did it, right? So this is the time when this song was coming out, right? And Neil was already driving to LA in this hearse with the mission to meet Stephen Stills. This is, a lot of people know this story, but I'm retelling it anyways because it's so fantastic. Oh, I'm in the middle now.
He's back.
Sorry, guys.
Welcome back.
Internet television. What are you going to do?
I'm telling an old story that many people know about Neil Young driving to LA to meet Stephen Stills. And then he was driving down Sunset Boulevard after a few days, and he actually saw Stills, and Stills recognized the Ontario hearse, and they hooked up, and they formed this band called Buffalo Springfield. And this apparently Stills got outraged when he saw some bunch of hippies got beat up on Sunset Boulevard because the clubs were open too late, and the cops came down and gave him a beat down, and Stills went, "Hey, stop, people, look around. Everybody look around."
That's a pretty good description of how it happened. That's good.
And they turned that into a song. And then, and Neil, if you listen, he does, I guess he's playing those nice guitar harmonics and the guitar.
On the same, him and Bachman played that same sort of Gretsch guitar in the beginning, I think, right? The orange one.
Yeah.
And I was saying to the boys earlier, showing them this photo, like, which one of these guys do you think is going to take off and have a solo career in this picture? Which one looks like he's ready to go? Like, it's like Spy versus
Neil Young on the far right, folks.
Yeah. Guys, we're going to wear all black tonight. Okay. Is Neil going to do it? Yeah, I think so. No, he's not going to do that. He's going to do the other.
Fun fact about this, the guitar player, Bruce Palmer.
Yeah.
I went to school with his daughter in Meadowbrook Public School. My mom was a secretary. Aaron Palmer went to the school, and Bruce didn't get to stay in Buffalo Springfield because he got caught with marijuana, and he had to go back to Canada.
He's the only guy that did it. Then
He lost his gig.
He was the only one in that band who smoked any of that stuff.
He's the only guy who did it, and he went to Newmarket, the epicenter for marijuana.
What's up, Arkansas?
Yeah. Nice, Kevin. Thanks for checking in. The one thing that I was going to say, the story that I always like, and it's from Shaky, is that Neil Young talked everybody into firing the manager of Buffalo Springfield.
Is that to bring in Elliot, whatever?
Well, no, but it was Elliot. It was Elliot.
Oh, right.
So like he talked to everybody. He's like,
him.
we gotta fire that guy. He's like the worst. And then they fire him, and then he's just like, he hires him as his manager, and then he's like, I'm out of here. So.
Oh. Yeah, Neil's got lots of and the other thing I'll say about protest songs and such is I guess Neil saw the value of that because in the Kent State murders or massacre or whatever protest, Neil wrote Ohio, which in my opinion is just far superior. It's an amazing song. That didn't have the legs that the Stills version, which made it into Black Lives Matter and everything else. And that song, it still's with us.
Well, the song has one of literally. Oh God, he slid it in there.
Oh my God.
Did you pick the song just to say that? I'll give you this though. If you're talking about like, if you want to break it down to the like, what makes the song great, the Rick Beato thing, it's like that intro is one of the ones, right? As soon as you hear, can you play it on there?
Oh,
yeah, that's what I mean.
It's something like that, actually.
It's just two little harmonics on the. It's just like amazing and a little bass, and it's just like I mean, it probably came together pretty quick because I know Ohio, I think, was written in a couple days. Like he just
well, those things happen, and you get the vibe, you get the feeling. Just
when you're in the zone, man, of making music, it just electric lightning, man. I'm done. All right, my turn. Get into this century.
No, it's
Mark's turn. I think I'm up. Yes.
Yeah, there you go. This is a great pick.
Hopefully, I don't cut out. Right off the top, I've always heard about the Felice brothers for years and years. It's one of those things where you don't have access to music, or for whatever reason you didn't listen to it and didn't search it out. But over this summer, obviously with the pandemic, I kind of started like diving into bands that I had heard of, like Dr. Dog, Felice brothers, stuff like that. This song that I love, it catches me like it's so live, it's so raw. But the thing that Casey, obviously, we talked about it earlier, thing that I kind of like best about it is the moment where he's like, and Jake Felice on the keys, and he lets him solo for like less than a bar. And it's like
it's 3 seconds.
Yeah, it's like, and that's enough. That's enough.
He's like, let's wrap it up. It's great.
Oh my God, it's so good.
Well, you get bar sounds in the song. There's like he clears his throat, and it's all there. It's amazing. It's perfect.
But even the name Lenore, how he obviously, it's just. Everything about this song is beautiful. It's a sing-along. It sounds like it's in a bar. It sounds like it's live. And it's like, how do you do that unless you just wrote it, just recorded it? I don't know how you capture it like that and have that motion, that all of those things that you get from writing a song instantly and recording it. Maybe they did it that way.
It sounded super fun. It sounded very much like it was just like, let's just like have a blast. But that one of the lyrics is Donnie wants me to buy him a bottle, but I blew my wallet on a chandelier, all for my loving gal Lenore. Like it's just like, what is it? What's going on in this song? It's so great. Very Dylan-y sounding too, sort of like raspy, sort of early, like loose Dylan sound. Tonally, like that song. I don't know what the rest of that record sounds like, but there we go. Hank's still kicking around. It must be 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the morning.
No, I saw him in David.
He's a fan. Nice. He would know them well, absolutely.
And weren't they Ronnie Hawkins' band for a bit?
No. You're thinking of no.
Different
Peterborough guys.
Yeah, who was it? Was it not
the Felice brothers? Where are they from?
Look at the wrong guys.
Texas.
I think they're from New York, maybe. No, I don't know.
Somewhere. They're not from Winnipeg.
Hold on a second. See, I should do more work.
No. We'll do the retractions later. Mistakes.
Yeah,
it's a great tune.
Don't worry about
it. Yeah, I'm good. That's all I need to say. Is just like I just like the rawness. Like that's what I was picking this week.
You're thinking of the Weber brothers, is what you're thinking of. I think.
Yeah.
Peterborough. Yeah, they're great guys.
They're from New York.
They are from New York.
They are from New York.
They're like the only band from New York, probably.
Okay.
Like if there's one band, they're from Brooklyn, man. There we go. Oh, they were in Dawson City. Oh no, send the Felice brothers to Dawson City is a great.
Yeah, they would destroy it.
Yeah,
they would destroy Dawson
fun.
City.
Yeah. Jude says they're from upstate New York.
There you go.
Thanks, Jude. Thanks for helping us.
Thank you.
Yeah.
On
All
it.
right. I'm wrapping it up. And these boys hold a very, very, very special place in our hearts. The Hackensaw Boys. They are from Virginia, West Virginia or Virginia? East Virginia? Southwest Virginia. They're from that area.
Charleston. Is it Charleston?
That's
Or Charlottesville? I think.
Charlottesville. I don't know. They're from banjo country.
We met him in Daventer, actually.
Yeah, our first European tour was
Hank would know them.
alongside them. And just incredible songwriters, like punk rock bluegrass, just something like a bluegrass band, but just with the most talented players. Pokey LaFarge was once a member and maybe is still sometimes. His career's taken off through the roof. Yeah, Dave was the guy songwriting most of the record, Love What You Do, which was like the one that we were all basically hooked on back on that first tour. They were the first band I remember. They'd invite us on stage. Like, I mean, it's one of those like rotating lineups. Jimmy Stelling was their banjo player at the time.
That's right.
We were out there, who's now a banjo maker. His family's been making banjos.
But you remember the one little moment or the little note that Jimmy Stelling was Dolly Parton's pool boy?
Yes, he was the pool attendant at Dolly Parton's house, which is, there you go. It's probably a big pool. It's probably more than one. He did pool attendants at Dollywood, all the different pools. But amazing guys. One of those things where like, it was our first wide-eyed trip into like, Holland and the Netherlands. We met Hank on that trip and all these shows with these guys. I remember singing, Why Did I Come to Nashville with them? And I was like, I don't know what to do. What are we going to do? And it was just like religiously amazing.
But this song, like their show's really frenetic. Like even without a drummer, they had a guy just playing washboard or whatever, but really fast and frenetic shows. And with like so many guys on stage, there's no way they're making a lot of money, but they were having an amazing time. They played like well into the night after the show and during the day. But this song is sort of a departure to that. It's an emotional song and it pulls my heartstrings, man. I get a tear when I hear it because
it sounds like it's about having your child born, right? I think that's what it is. I think it was Dave's kid being born. It's what it sounds like to me. I mean, it can be.
That's why I quit the band too, to be back.
Well, yeah, it's hard to do that, but it was like, personally, my favorite song is Alabama Shamrock, which is track 4 on this record. This is the opening track to this incredible sort of bluegrass record. And that led us to meeting like Chatham County Line and a bunch of other people from that area of the world who tour in Holland a lot because the level of respect for that music over there is through the roof.
But in all fairness, you know what I mean? Even kudos to Boss at Belmont Bookings because he was booking all those bands at that time and be like, oh, you guys got to tour with these guys, right?
Yeah. It was incredible to be on with them for sure because it got us into these like really crazy venues and just amazing places. And like I said, like they just sort of were like it's awesome when you meet such talent that is super nice, overly nice. I mean, Southern hospitality through the roof kind of thing. Like come in here, drink with us, smoke with us, do everything with us. Like it was great. It wasn't like stay away from us or anything like that. It was really, a great way to be introduced to touring in Holland. It was awesome. Yeah. And that takes us through the playlist, boys. Nice work. Strong picks. Can you play us out of the playlist with a riff that you like, Steve?
Oh,
anything you can think of?
Play that one.
That's the one I want to hear.
You don't want to hear that riff.
That's what I was fishing for. Oh yeah, it's so smooth. Seen a lot of pain in the game.
Did it?
All right, perfect.
I thought you were gonna sing a little more.
No, I don't want. I'm just, I like.
We need the beats. We need the fat beats.
Yeah. So let's head back. Now we're going to get into. Our friend Grant will be along soon. I think he's going to come on and talk a little bit about at least.
If he's not here, do you want to tell the Burton story?
You can tell the Burton's. Absolutely. Let's tell the Burton story.
This is just so bizarre. There's a horrible juvenile joke.
Yeah. Don't tell the joke.
No, this is a stupid joke. But Burton Cummings is kind of the punchline of the joke. Yeah. And yeah, you hear these guys cover. So the punchline being Burton Cummings. I went to tell the joke. I think we're driving through the alleys near the Walker Theater, which is now the Burton Cummings Theater. So
we were right outside the Fairmont. I did not correct you.
Casey is right.
And then suddenly, so there's alleys, and this arm, like just before the punchline of the Burton Cummings joke, this arm comes out and stops the minivan because we were going very slow.
These arms. That's not the.
It was Burton Cummings.
It was crazy.
Stopping the car. Like he had a date. He was walking through and he wanted to make sure his date got across safely. So he stopped the van, and I didn't get to say the punchline joke because he walked right in front of the van. It was.
But we lost our minds. We were laughing.
Yeah, it was amazing.
Hard.
Oh yeah, it was unbelievable.
How is this possible? We almost killed Burton Cummings. The story that night was we literally almost killed him because it was close. So I slammed the brakes on pretty hard.
Same tour.
Probably.
At the end of the tour, we're coming from Regina, and we wanted to get home. The last show of the tour was Regina, so we were
Do you
like,
remember what time it was?
Casey he's got the energy to drive, so
it was
he
early.
drove, like, all night.
Yeah.
And we got into Winnipeg as the sun was coming up. What, 7 in the morning on a Saturday?
7 in the morning. Yes.
And we come up. There's this one stop where the Trans Canada meets, and you come in. You just start coming into Winnipeg out of the prairies, and this BMW pulls up beside us, top down, everything. It's Burton Cummings.
Yeah,
Right
twice in like
beside us
one trip.
again.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
same
Well, he
tour.
was golfing actually. We saw golf clubs in the back,
Oh,
but
okay.
the
I didn't
first
know
time
why.
was dangerous because it was like we weren't paying attention and we were just like whatever
Yeah.
the joke was. And then, as soon as whoever it was would have probably died had we not seen him put his hand out and stop us. We're like,
No.
is that possibly? It is him. Oh
It
my
was-
god! He was going
yeah.
to like the steakhouse or something.
It was amazing.
Luckily, he and we
Don't
also
tell the
died.
joke. I'll
No,
just
it's a
walk
stupid
right-
joke.
No, we don't have to tell the joke.
No, I mean
You're
that's
that
what he
famous.
was
You can have a
saying.
joke made about
That's
you.
what he was saying. Like he's like just there.
Yeah. Well, or we should tell the story, obviously, of the first time that we actually played Winnipeg. We had just
Well, let's
played...
bring in a friend first. Can we bring him in?
Sure. Yeah. Is he there?
Let's bring. Yeah, he's right here. Let me just see if he's
I'm right
available
here.
for us. Hey, buddy.
Hey guys,
There he
Nice
is.
to see you.
how's it going?
Hey,
Nice backdrop. 10 out of 10.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's just mine.
Too many tellies? I don't know.
No, not enough, obviously.
So good.
Yeah,
Now
where's
I'm
all the
looking-
strats?
Yeah, downstairs.
Nice.
That's awesome, man. That is
How
a
you
beautiful
been?
backdrop.
I'm good. How are you guys?
Really good.
We're doing a TV
Making
show
it.
because what else? This is you have the time. You're a musician, so you could spare your time for us to come on for a little bit.
I've been enjoying every moment of it except the bashing of Burton. But
I know you're a fan too, and this is all from me. I like to joke about this stuff. It's all in good fun because remember at Corb's house, I was making fun of. I don't know if you remember this.
I was gonna bring that up because that still to this day is probably one of the things I laugh hardest at.
Oh, because Corb has a giant poster of Burton, doesn't
No,
he?
it was a giant like yak skin or something.
Yeah, it was
Yeah,
like a
hunting.
water buffalo hide that his dad had gotten. And we were there after a show, and Casey was like, "Hey, how did you get Burton Cummings' mustache?"
Amazing. And he
Corb
didn't.
was
I
upset
thought he
about
was all. Yeah, I think that's why we haven't toured with you guys since. To be honest, I think that's the reason, man. I think that's like, ooh, that did not go. He hasn't really looked at me or spoken to me since that whole time.
I'm surprised he let us stay in his house that night after that. So
Oh, as if. Come on.
Yeah,
Oh,
I
I
know,
know, I
totally.
know.
But I was, I might have been having some fun too. I wasn't, I was
Yeah.
I thought that was priceless.
It was the curvature of the skin. It had that
Right.
Burton of the actual fur or whatever. But
Yeah.
man. So welcome. Thanks for hanging out with us.
Thanks
So
for
you're at
having me.
home there in Winnipeg. I actually have a picture of your house from the outside here. It's off Portage in Maine. There you are. There.
That's it, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
15 below.
Yeah, there. That's a little. That's you there. But yeah, I knew that actually wasn't really your house because that's not in the shape of a Telecaster.
Well, it's the guest house,
That's right. You put them in
Yeah.
the weird shaped guitar out back.
I guess too.
the Ovation house.
Oh, don't get me started on the. Are we going to start on that now?
If you want.
I don't want to be negative, Grant. I don't want to be negative.
that's Bob Seger territory.
I don't understand. We could have a whole show about the Ovation. Maybe we should talk about that. Being too negative. Good. Well, yeah, you're
Well, you know
looking good,
what?
man.
Well,
It's
the
been a year or
Ovation-
so.
I want to hear Mark's thoughts about the Ovation.
The only good thing about it is like Bob Seger played it all the time, and it sounded good when they played in stadiums.
Yeah.
But it's a terrible guitar. It's horrible.
It just
It
Glenn
doesn't look
Campbell
right.
too, man. Glenn
I
Campbell
know.
rocked the Ovation. It sounded great.
Pla-
I think people like that
Plastic
curvy
and wood.
plastic back. Maybe it's comfortable or something. I don't know. What is it
Yeah,
about them?
it never slides off your body.
There you go. There's reasons for it. And those like, yeah, I don't know. It's like a 5-string bass to me. It's just like, why? It's just I get like visceral reaction to seeing them sometimes. I know they probably sound great or whatever, but there's certain.
They don't
Just-
sound
there's-
good.
No,
Good to know.
They
Okay,
don't
I'm not.
sound good.
It was a thing for like a year, right?
Yeah,
No, they're
Yeah.
still
Maybe
everywhere.
six
You'll
or
see them
they're still everywhere. People think they're
Absolutely.
cool again.
do they?
Well,
really?
yeah. Well, for that like
Oh,
cool because
man.
it's ugly kind of thing, probably or whatever. Like
Well, it's like Kramer's are back again, right?
yeah,
Like,
PV Bandits.
yeah.
All fairness,
Line
I had
up
a
the
Kramer
stage
for my first guitar.
That was my first guitar, the Striker 1000.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's how you started on a Striker 1000. That's
On a
some
Striker
deep
1000.
cuts right there. That's
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah.
Wow.
Awesome. Well, you're gonna take us on a tour of Winnipeg, I think.
Okay.
But
do
Mark's
it.
going to start off with the story here. Sorry to interrupt.
No,
Yeah.
I was just gonna go back just because our very first time in Winnipeg actually started when we were in Dawson City. We had to do an interview, and we had to kind of find the time to pull over on the side of the road at that time when we didn't even have cell phones. We had to make the time to do an interview, and by the time we pull over, do the interview, find this phone that's actually up on a telephone pole, like high up. We're doing the interview, and the guy's like, "So when are you playing again?" And it's just like, "Oh, we're playing this weekend." He's like, "Nobody's gonna be there. Everybody goes away for this weekend." He's like, "I'm sorry to tell you, but you're not gonna have anybody at your show." And we're just like decimated, like totally destroyed. You know, we fly all the way down to Edmonton, drive all the way across, and then we get to the show. He's right. There's nobody at our show. There's only 3 people. Stu, Dominic, and I don't. Yeah,
Stu. My friend Sean Garrity was there. Sean Garrity, the filmmaker, was there.
And the opening act.
Yeah.
And
the
Where
opening
were
show
you
is
playing?
airing
What weekend was it?
I think it was the August 3rd weekend, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Long weekend. Is that a long weekend out there?
Well, it's probably Winnipeg Folk Festival weekend or something.
Oh, maybe. Or maybe they just sold no tickets and they had to make it up just to tell us not to come or something.
He just said that everybody was going up to their cottages. That was the weekend that everybody goes to their cottages. And it's just like
cabins.
But it was still a good show.
There's more to the story, right, Mark? Are you going to tell me?
I'm not going to tell.
No, okay, because you hinted at it in the ad.
Should I tell him?
Yeah, I don't know. Some of them. I don't know.
Well, they had just ultimately we were the first band to play after they had just found the guy had died in between the walls. Do you remember that, Grant?
Dude, one of my first shows with Corb, like I played the Winnipeg Folk Fest with them, and then we had a couple weeks off, and then we were playing the Collective Cabaret.
That's the Collective. That's
it. Yeah,
that was the first show, like other than the Folk Fest show I did with Corb, and that body was still in there.
Oh no!
Like there was a smell. And everyone was still like, they didn't know what was going on. So,
because I've often wondered if that was like just made up, but it sounds like there's some more truth to it. Obviously,
no, it was for real. Yeah,
because I think we were. Did you say we were the first ones in after they had like cleaned it up,
kind of thing?
That's
cleaned it up.
Yeah.
Maybe that explains why there wasn't a big crowd at the Collective. Maybe word had gotten out that you go there, you die there. It's good for you.
That's
amazing.
Either way, sad story, obviously.
But it did lead, it led to us returning. And I was saying earlier, Grant, it's like Winnipeg's a really cool, obviously full of musicians and like talent and talented people, all the way from Burton Cummings down to like everyone in the middle and down low. Everyone. I'm just ripping. It's okay to rip on success. Come on, we're just having fun.
Yeah.
Anyways, but all the community. I was saying when we get there, it's always this community of musicians. Like at a show at the Times, there's more musicians there than crowd. To be honest, like trying to accommodate all the friends we've made over the years, like Neville and Rami Mays, and you guys are always there. It's just such a family thing and I wonder how that's going in Winnipeg right now. How's that vibe? I know that that you guys did, or John at Times was doing some sort of benefit CD or something to help.
Well, Times just had its 20th anniversary since John took it over, and so yeah, he just did like it was like he's putting together a DVD, but he live streamed it. I guess that was last week, but it was a bunch of musicians got together and played. Like we're in lockdown. I don't know what you guys are doing, but we can't leave our homes. So everyone just kind of filmed songs from their own place and then submitted them. And then our friend Mike Marniak, who's a fantastic filmmaker, he wove it together with a bunch of crazy stock old footage. And it was great.
Nice.
Cool. It's cool to see. It was also hard to see because it just really makes you miss everything, right? Like,
yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's after all the places we've sort of, the Times, we talk about it all the time. I mean, here, we'll get some shots up here. Here's the building here. I think it's after this must probably post car crash into the corner, I guess.
Yeah.
Something crashed into that. This is right near Portage and Maine for everyone who's not from Winnipeg. And it's I would say the only legit honky tonk in Canada at this point now. The Dakota was there. Well, I guess it is still, but this one just has a different Western vibe. I don't know if anyone else can speak to that, but it's just such a place.
And the chicken toss. And just reminding me now, late night after the club closes, they put a bucket in the middle of the room, and for $2 you can toss this rubber chicken, and whoever gets it in the bucket wins.
I won it my first time.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Here's Johnny
right
here. There he is.
Nice shot.
This guy is one of the greatest people on the planet, by the way. If you haven't been to Winnipeg, if you ever are there for any reason, if you're a business person and you have like 5 hours, just ask how to get to the Times Change and just go down there. As long as it's after like 9 or whatever time they open late there, or whatever. But he's a beauty, man. He's such a great guy. Though everyone there, like the bar staff, is such a spot.
Well, and we always stay across the street at the hotel across the street because it just destroys us every time we play there.
And you know what? It's funny because it's the closest place, unless you're staying, there's a lot of bars and clubs you play where you stay upstairs or something. But to be honest, just to cross the street to get to that hotel is one of the most dangerous intersections on earth. Right? Like you could die anytime you're going back and forth to that hotel room. It is like people come around that corner as one crashed into the bar, obviously. Like it's one of the most dangerous 30 feet that I've ever experienced, especially if it's icy and you're slipping and sliding all over the place. But here's a shot of the ends. I don't know can you pick this band out? I don't know who that is, but it's a cool shot.
I can't. No.
I don't know. And just on the left side there would be probably Andrew Neville standing there
guarding the door.
How's that guy doing right now? Have you seen him or talked to him?
He's good, actually. Yeah, because so along with the DVD or whatever, John did do like a double CD. So I recorded with Neville. We recorded a track called Honky Tonk Shangri-La, and he's doing great. He's got a kid now, and he's great, man.
Yeah, he's again. When I first met him, one of the scariest looking dudes you'll ever see, and then you just meet
the biggest teddy bear.
I know. It's like, how could this guy be sweet? This doesn't make sense. This is craziness. What a guy. Yeah. That's good. So you're busy doing stuff as you can do it, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, whatever. I'm sure, like you guys, I mean, you get a year off, like as if you're not gonna like take the time to spend it with your family and get healthy, right? It's awesome. Yeah. It's been, I mean, other than missing playing, it's been great. Yeah. So
you guys got to play. Oh, go ahead, Kay.
Well, this is your project, right? How old is this record? Because I found this on your MySpace page, by the way.
Yeah, buddy.
There you go. I love it.
We recorded that live at times in like 2001, 2002.
It's that old. Okay, no, their MySpace makes sense then. That's amazing.
Yeah.
Because I feel
I just threw it up on Bandcamp because people had been asking. We had made like a run of 100 copies.
Right on.
And my parents bought them all. And everyone was asking for them.
And then now they can up the value and resell them on eBay, and you make.
That's right. Yeah.
But I found it funny because this is obviously before the Trailer Park Boys, but you look like Ricky, man, on this.
I know, right?
Is that not amazing? That's like looks like the Trailer Park Boys made a record. It's a
smokes and chips. Let's go.
There you go. Amazing. Yeah. So that's good. It's like it is. I guess if you look at it as a positive thing, you're home, right? You've been on the road forever, right? So,
I mean, I've been on the road for 20 years straight. So it's to have thankfully we live in Canada too, right? So, to have like a paid sabbatical or whatever is fine by me. Yeah, again, I miss playing. Don't get me wrong, I miss playing. And we were just about to embark on like a crazy CD release tour. So
same with us. It was like right at the time, right? Exactly.
So what happens there? Do we still do a CD release tour when we're allowed to, or is the CD done? Right? Like it's
not weird. Done. You start over. You got to start over. It's a mulligan.
We make another one.
A mulligan.
Let's talk quickly about this spot, buddy. This place. Here's a staple.
It's my favorite place.
I think that's where we met up last. We had dinner there together.
We did. I showed Mark. I texted Mark that picture. They posted country music band Elliot Brood was in.
Oh, nice. I had no idea that mattered as much. That a place like that. That's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's like famous for prime rib, I guess, which I don't want to get too negative again, but I hate prime rib. So there you go. I don't understand.
Honestly, I generally go for the burger.
Yeah, I think you mentioned that. I think you had it when we were there. We're all eating steaks, trying to be gangsters, and you were like, burger. It's great.
Burger and a Manhattan. Good to go.
The Manhattans are good for sure.
Well, the whole thing is, the first time that we actually went there, we were on our way up. It was just Casey and myself going up to Churchill, Manitoba. Right. And we missed our flight. And then Casey's like, we need to go for steaks. And I'm like, oh, man, I am so tired. And then Casey's like, I found this place. What do you think of this place? And showed me photos. And I was just like, we're going. We hopped in a cab, and we're just like, and you were out of town, Grant.
Yeah.
And then
the first time.
And then I think when we came back on the back end of the trip, we stopped again. That's where we went with you.
Well, it reminds me, it's like Sardi's in New York or something. There's this weird sort of like gangster feeling, red velvets. It's such a cool vibe inside there. And the staff is like all 100 years old, serving dressed up, just old style thing. And we're definitely now, every time we go there, we head there because
here's a question for you, Grant. Is it in a movie anywhere? Like where you guys know that it's in a certain movie? Because how could it not be?
I don't know. Like I honestly can't answer that question. And the amount of films that get filmed in Manitoba, you would think that somebody must have scouted that place out because
Yeah.
Like that could have been Donald Draper's home, right?
Absolutely.
Like,
Yeah.
Especially where this doesn't show the booths or anything, but when you get those
No.
like
Yeah.
curved seats or whatever. But
and that's the thing. Like I generally hang out in the lounge, just because I like the mirrors and the swivel chairs.
though I know exactly they're like the bar swivel chairs. It's insane.
Yeah.
So good.
Yeah.
Awesome. Amazing. And then so like well, we talked a bit about the times. We'll get back at that a little bit, but some of the other venues we've had some good times at. This is obviously the West End Cultural Center. You've probably, I don't know how many times you've played this place, but
yeah, and I live like 2 blocks away from there.
okay, then you can answer a question for me possibly.
Yeah.
The reason I wanted to talk about the West End is the convenience store across the street from the West End Cultural Center. Are you familiar with this place? The little grocery convenience store where they have like right across on the same side of the street.
Yeah.
Where they like sell like Ziploc bags of chips that are open from other bags for less money. What is this? What's going on?
Just don't ask questions. Have you also noticed in Winnipeg that you never when you hop in a cab, they always just say $10, and you're like, okay.
I have not noticed that, but that's a good price to get anywhere.
You always
everywhere's
just pay $10, and they never turn the meter on. It's perfect. It's the same kind of thing, right? Like
it was. I was just walking. I'm like a Ziploc bag of like pretzels are like $1. I was like,
grab bags.
Yeah, it's great. I was like, this is perfect. Like because I don't need a whole bag of pretzels. I needed a small Ziploc lunch bag full of pretzels. Is what I'm looking for. The only place I've seen it, and I just love it. It was amazing. I love that.
They probably sell cigarettes like one at a time as well.
One at a time.
Well, I don't want to get anyone in trouble. I think they're doing good stuff.
I don't think our show is going to bring them down.
No, everyone's watching this. And here's some famous Western Canadian neon. I think is a pretty cool spot too. A little bit grungier than the West End Cultural Center. Obviously, this place is a little bit,
but so cool, man. I often dream of a guy like John taking over a place like that,
like a bigger spot. Yeah.
Like to me, like the pyramid is like ideal size, I think, and like if all the audio gear wasn't from 78, it would be an amazing room, Yeah,
I can't remember if I think does it sound good on stage there?
No, it sounds terrible everywhere in there. Like, I mean, the monitors are as big as an SVT. Like, it's ridiculous.
I remember never going out of there going, that sounded amazing. It's always super fun though.
It's super fun, and it gets hot and sweaty and packed, and there's no chairs, right? So everyone is like,
like
up there, like 800, 900.
No, it's like 4
It's like 300, 3 or 4.
Yeah.
Really?
It's all mid-level.
That is bigger. Yeah.
No.
This guy was at one of the shows. I don't know if you remember this dude.
Oh yeah.
This is actually at the West End Cultural Center on Halloween. If you can't make it out, the Energizer Bunny got drunk on stage. It was super fun.
Chugging a beer.
Yeah, he's just having a time.
That's from a video, right? I think there's a video of that on the tube.
Oh, somewhere.
Yeah.
There we go. Here's one from the West End.
Hey, you look great in that shot too.
2-week-old kids made it there. Look at that.
Oh, that's awesome. We probably ruined their ears. Sorry.
Sorry about your kids that we destroyed.
Now, do you guys remember? Do you remember playing the Garrick?
Yes, one with Corb, right?
Yeah,
that was our Corb tour. Yeah,
I
don't have pictures of the Garrick.
That place is closed now. Apparently,
I heard it. What didn't they turn it into like a clinic for vaccinations or testing or something for a while? Like they were using it
maybe
because the Garrick's another one it looks like nothing from the outside, like a weird conference.
That to me is like kind of an ideal situation because you got that floor where everyone can hang out in, and then people can sit in the back and not be disturbed by the people dancing. Like,
absolutely.
Kind of a shame that one's gone.
Obviously, the Cummings Theater. We did that one time, which was.
You mean the Walker? That's
is it called the? Oh, I didn't.
Well, I mean, it's called the Burton Cummings, but that's one thing that drives me a little bit crazy because it was the Walker Theater.
I see. So he. Oh, I didn't realize that before it was the Cummings, it was the Walker.
It's like the Massey Hall of Winnipeg, right? Like it's 2 big giant mezzanines. If you go to the top of the balcony at the Walker, it's amazing. Like how high up.
Yeah. Well, we had that
frightening. Like it's just like
it's vertical.
Yeah.
We went to Wilco there.
Yeah, Canada Day, which was
nice.
An amazing. That was like one of those weird, incredible things because no one knew we were there, kind of thing. And we just the reception I remember getting on that day was like unbelievable.
Yeah,
it's a cool way to be in that venue and
I think we probably because the Canada Day thing, the Canadian band.
It helped. I think so.
Yeah, it does help. Does help.
I love that place though.
Oh, that's a good.
Cap is
there's Russo. Robbie's. There he is. Robbie, we'll be talking about you in a few minutes, anyways. But,
thank you, Robbie.
Yeah.
That's right.
He knows the legal.
The Gimli connection.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. It's great. We just anything else? Do you want to, I don't know, what do you want to talk about? What do you got? Anything else going on in Winnipeg we should know about?
Were you cross country skiing earlier?
Today?
Yeah.
Not today, but I was yesterday.
Yeah. Good.
Yeah.
You guys get
The
enough
river's
stuff.
open now, hey? So the river's awesome this year because they got the skating trail and the cross country ski trail, and now they have like, because everyone's on fat bikes now, they got that trail going on.
Right.
So
Right.
it's like this weird how the river turns into like this weird highway in the middle of winter. It's
Especially
awesome.
now, right? Because there's nothing else to do.
There's
It's
nothing to do.
Yeah, it's like in Hamilton, Coots Paradise is completely glass, frozen ice. There's thousands of people out there skating right now.
Yeah.
Well, not right now, but we were out there this afternoon.
Is that
Great.
what makes so many musicians in that town, do you think, in that area of the world? Is it, I mean, you always hear the Seattle scene was because it rains all the time. Are you guys inside so much that you just play music, or is it the,
Yeah,
the
for
cold
sure.
winters do that? And as soon as
I
it's
think-
summer, it's mosquito weather, right? You're inside still. As soon as that happens. It's like,
I don't think you've ever seen people appreciate summer as much.
yeah, I know. Fair enough.
No, I think there's a couple things. I think for sure, like cold, obviously you're going to stay inside and whatever, paint or play guitar or whatever. But I also think it's the cost of living. Like
Right.
you can afford to be a guitar player here. Like you can afford to be a guitar player and own a home. You can, you know what I mean? And just play locally if you want. Like,
Right. You can have a career. You can live,
Yeah.
essentially.
yeah, I mean,
that's
there's
big.
only like 3 places to play, but somehow you could make a living here, you know, like,
Yeah, and like tons
So-
of, I mean, you have on probably the biggest band to get out of there is the Guess Who. I would imagine the most worldwide success, I would
Yeah.
say. The Crash Test Dummies are from Winnipeg. I didn't
they're
even know that.
huge too. Yeah.
Weaker Thans, of course, like I don't know how in our world we would consider huge and just
Yeah.
like amazing contributors
Well,
to
and Propaganda too, right?
Propaganda, Royal Canoe, Watchmen. One of
Mhm.
my favorites who we actually played with, Harlequin,
Yeah.
Killer.
Oh,
We played with them at some weird park,
yeah.
trailer park in Alberta. It was
Yeah.
amazing.
Oh, yeah.
Was it the original lineup or was it just? Like
I
a
don't
couple
think
of
so.
them?
They were.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. Well, a couple of them look pretty original. Like
Stampede?
age-wise.
what,
Yeah, like-
what constitutes original for you?
Well, just age. I'm like, that's not a replacement guy. That guy's doing it because he's like the guy. You don't like hire another like 70-year-old guy. He gets that's the guy. You know, and I
That's
don't know
the
much about their
guy.
history. Yeah.
Yeah.
But then you get down to like we got Perpetrators, Derangers, like Nathan, Grand Analog is from Winnipeg,
Yes.
Imaginary Cities. Like it's pretty. There's I was researching this. Maybe you're not familiar with this band. They existed between 94 and 97. Swallowing Shit. Do you know this band from Winnipeg? They're on. You can Google them. They're in the list of Winnipeg bands. There's a band that briefly was around between 94 and 97 called Swallowing Shit.
Are you sure they're not from Hamilton?
Well, they might have had members from there, anyways. But
Oh,
anyways,
man.
yeah. But that gets into like, yeah, again, we've always had like crazy support there from you guys, and like someone like Stu Reed or like UMFM, CKUW. There's a couple stations, I guess. Like,
CKUW, yeah, for
the-
sure.
the radio show Tell the Band to Go Home's been good to us, and Stu's always been amazing, like
Yeah.
from the beginning. But
Yeah.
yeah, man.
Home
good.
away from home.
Well, yeah,
Absolutely.
and it's probably again because it's a small community, so it's like everyone just always is hanging out, right? It doesn't matter what genre or whatever. Like,
Yeah, and you can find all you guys play on everyone else's stuff all the time, right? Like you've played with Jay, you've played with everyone,
Yeah.
and everyone. You can hear everyone on everything. Like the Derangers, I remember the first time I saw them was actually in TO. They were at the Rivoli.
Yeah.
I had met them before we were ever out there, and I just remembered, they had the shirts on and everything. It was like this whole look and vibe and feel, and Jackson rocking out and Twisty. Everything was such a.
That's
cool
the other
band.
thing. I don't know how much time we have here, but the other thing
As
I
much
love
as you
about
want.
Winnipeg is that, I mean, even if you wanted to break it down to like guitar players, like every guitar player is like has their own thing, right? Like Jay sounds like Jay, Chopper sounds like Chopper, Damon Mitchell sounds like Damon. Like everyone kind of got into their own weird thing that they loved, and
Something totally identified.
it's like nobody really sounds alike, which is cool.
Yeah, totally. I mean, you have that's what I've always loved about. I get so excited to get to the times, to be honest, and mostly because we're, that Thunder Bay drive generally is or was a long hungover long
It's
trip.
brutal.
Yeah.
It's hard.
It's terrible.
But
Like,
the,
you
you
know,
know
Terrible.
what? The whole thing is, and it just shows you how good of a town Winnipeg is we're dying from having just suffered in Thunder Bay, having had a good time. And you get to Winnipeg and you don't think you're going to have the energy to actually perform. And
Yeah.
every time Winnipeg brings it out of you, they bring out the best show that you can
like I remember the
possibly do.
first time at times when like we show up at like 5 for sound check. like John doesn't show up at 5 for sound check. He wasn't, or
No.
at least he wasn't at the, like, you don't just show up and play later, like at 9:30
Yeah.
or whatever it is.
Plug and
We're
play.
like,
Yeah.
and we
Yeah.
learned about that stuff as we went. But at first we were all super like, oh, we got to get in there at like 4:30 and get.
Have you guys been there since they expanded?
I think so. The last time, actually, wasn't
really?
the last time you played with us the last time. I believe that is the last time we were there. Weren't you playing with us that night? So there was, I don't think
When
that
Jay
super
and I
expansion
opened?
happened. Yeah,
Yeah.
that was the last time we were there. So whenever that was.
It was
I
just opened up. They hadn't
Right.
fixed everything. Like John had just gone upstairs and found all those chicken bones,
Yes.
right, and all of that stuff. And
Yeah,
shit,
yeah.
the guy
And
that
the
had,
bones.
the guy that
The
had lived
voodoo, the
upstairs.
voodoo
forever.
wishbone. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that building, man. What a be here. Let's like have pop it up again, just because here it is on the corner there.
The history of that place, man.
I know, man. Even our own
Crazy.
little like, I just associate so many good stories of my own life with this place, and they're like,
I know.
you know, once a year or whatever, but they're always just incredible.
So I
Those
started
leases.
playing there when I was 16, like way before John was owner. Like
Right.
it's crazy. So I've been there for almost 30 years. It's just insane to think about to me. Like,
I did hear his podcast. He had that 2-part CBC podcast about the history of that venue and him being involved with it, which is really,
Mhm.
it was awesome to hear like those stories, all these like serendipitous moments over the years where like it was saved or like something happened and it continued on.
Yep.
He's like a blessed guy, like this blessed situation that it's got to keep going. But 30 years.
Well, I mean, the
that's-
guy who built it died in the Titanic, right?
That's right.
What?
That was in. Yeah, this is apparently part of the thing. Yeah.
Yeah, Mark Fortune. Yeah.
Wow, that's incredible.
Wow.
So
Yeah.
good.
Hey,
I
quick
can't-
question, Grant. Did you play guitar on Rami's album as well as produce it?
I did. Yeah.
Ah, you could tell there. Yeah, the soulful, because one of my songs was
In the mood.
no,
Yes. Steve's always in the mood.
make your move.
Make your move. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Nice.
thought that was your sound.
That was
Yeah.
definitely me. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Nice.
Are you
Rami
working on
wouldn't-
anything currently right now, or is there any like production jobs or anything like that? Are you working on other people's stuff?
Not really. Like, I mean, there's a few acts that I like Sean Burns and another guy named Mason Mellier. They all just submitted grants. So hopefully they get that and then we can start working. But the problem is that the studios aren't even open, right? So
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know.
Just
Slowly.
enjoy your downtime, man. That's all there is to it. You know, it's good. I
Retirement's
like your
been good.
positivity because I've been a little dark, to be honest, this week. I've just been like, bleh, I'm at my wit's end with this whole situation.
Well, it must be kind of weird in Los Angeles.
Oh, yeah, it's weird.
Show
I got
me
a picture.
of
Yeah.
you in Los Angeles.
I've been in LA for a year now. Here's a shot of me just outside. There you go.
Yeah, there you go.
That's actually
Yeah.
in Churchill, Manitoba, which we'll talk about in a little bit. It's
Yeah,
that's the
you're-
vibe. That's the feeling.
Yeah.
So it's like,
You're getting your freedom on.
yeah. Well, the whiskey I bought this week was called Four Freedoms. I'm not sure if you're familiar with that gem of a $13 bottle, but it is
Nope.
something else.
No.
It's something else.
You're into the double digits now.
Yes, yeah, totally.
That's good.
Yeah, I'm getting all of my Four Freedoms. It's fine. I mean, it's probably the same as everywhere else, but it is weird to be so far from what I know, you know, and being out here. But
And are people like, do they take it seriously or is it just
it's
whatever?
a mixed bag, honestly. Like if you go to
Yeah.
the beaches, there's like quite literally like left-wing beaches, and then you go south to like Manhattan Beach, where it's just like a Trump beach. It's just strange.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
it depends where you are. Venice is just a crapshoot. Who knows what's going on there?
Right.
But in general, like I think most people are taking it serious. Like,
yeah.
but there's definitely a whole bunch of people who are believing weird stuff. And
Casey wrote a couple songs on the "Put On a Effing Mask" series. I hear them.
yeah, I made my political statement known, but
Yeah.
I mean, we'll get there. Who knows? It's
Gotta send you that.
It is what it is.
Yeah.
Anyways, buddy, we won't keep you much longer. We love you. Thank you for being on with us.
Anytime, man.
Wonderful.
Always a
Miss you,
pleasure.
Grant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Say hi to anyone we know if you could for us the next time you see them. Or whatever.
Next time I virtually see everyone,
Yeah, when
I
you-
will let them know.
When you do other people's TV shows, mention ours.
Yeah, for sure.
Man, we'll see you on the highway at some point. We love you.
Yeah.
buddy.
All right, guys.
Stay
take
safe,
care.
Grant.
Yeah,
Cheers.
you too.
Miss you.
All right, boys.
That was
One of
awesome.
our favorite people in the world, obviously. He's
Oh, yeah.
just incredible. Always like
Fun-
just
it's fun when
chill
we were in Nashville just a year and a half ago when we could actually do things.
Yeah.
We went to all these.
We went to a
clubs.
lot of bars.
We
Oh
just-
my God, that's right. Then I forgot.
Evaluated all the
Was
house.
that the night before we bought the hats? Was that the night that caused the hats?
No,
that's
no,
that was another time.
That was when we.
You
Grant
guys
was the
still
best.
had a pretty
We were
good
drinking
time.
this whiskey. He buys a round of this whiskey, and I'm like, I'll get the next one.
I was
And
fast.
I didn't know how high Grant was rolling, but it was like a $40 shot.
You
It was
guys.
like Johnny Walker, Golden Blue or something. It was amazing, but that was at that weird blues bar. But yeah, anytime we see him, it's always an incredible time.
Yeah.
But we got to leave Winnipeg. We got to go north. There's a couple more places we got to talk about
Yes.
in Manitoba before we end this one off. So we go north up Highway 8, I think it is, out of Winnipeg, which goes up to a little town called Gimli, Manitoba. Now,
Yes.
this is not a picture of January 6th at the Capitol in DC. This looks like Washington, DC on January 6th. But this is actually a photo from the Icelandic Festival, which happens. Robbie might be able to chime in. I think he said it might be the first weekend of August.
Reenactments.
Which we were invited to one year and played an incredible, really cool festival, sort of in, I guess you could call it cottage country of Manitoba. It's on Lake Manitoba or Lake Winnipeg. Sorry, pardon me. But they have all these crazy reenactments, stuff like that. I will give you guys points to tell me the name of this game that is played at the festival. It's an Icelandic, invented game. If you can remember the name of this game.
Knock something or other.
You're close. You got half. Just put the other part into it.
Knock knock.
Close.
Beer knocker.
It's played with a frisbee. It's called
Frizzknock.
Frizzknock. Now this game, it's pretty. I don't know if Vikings invented this game or not, but
of course they did.
Yeah, it's some sort of Viking. Here
They
we go.
invented
Yeah,
it
Robbie's in. There it is, and he gave us. See, this is the
August
kind
long
of.
weekend.
This is what we need is people with some information.
There's the
perfect.
man.
Yeah, and so, yeah, there you go. This is a game where you basically there's two poles and you try to throw a frisbee to knock the beer bottle off. If you catch the beer bottle, you save it, but if you drop it, you lose a point. And it's kind of like if you thought curling was the drunkest game in the world, this is definitely number one, and curling is right second to that. And unfortunately, you can see this guy here with the blue shirt. He was unfortunately radicalized by this game, and when he grew up, something bad happened to him, and he became the QAnon shaman? Is that who that guy is?
Yes, it is. Yes.
But yeah, Gimli, it's a great little town, home of Crown Royal. Actually, that's where they make. I think all of the Crown Royal that is made is there.
Really?
Well, remember the bottles Robbie gave us?
All the ones that we drank, anyways, were probably from there.
He gave us. Yeah, we each got like a 60 of on our rider. We each got a bottle, which is incredible.
I probably got some relatives there. I know my mom's dad grew up in Winnipeg, and I think some of the folks are from out in that diaspora, if you will.
Oh, nice, huge word. I think.
Thank you. Throw that out there.
But and then we've been up since to play a little it's a restaurant bar called the Ship and Plow, which is we'd like to also shout out to a small business that to be honest, when I first got there, I was like, I don't know how this is gonna go. This is tiny and weird, and it was amazing. It was an incredible.
It was a stellar night.
Yeah, they took care of us, and it was like packed. I mean, it's a small place where I think they move a couple tables to make the stage because it's just that kind of like pub vibe. But oftentimes those are the best nights, and it was one of those nights for sure.
We need to go back there for sure.
Oh,
Just
yeah, we'll be going back
ourselves.
Nothing like live music when you can be right up close to it.
Global supply.
That's like I guess that's the overlords of Crown Royal or whatever, the corporate head office or whatever. But
is that
either
why
way, they make good stuff.
Is that why the Gimli glider didn't make it? They were all
there. It is home of the glider right there.
There you go.
We got some more. See, all these people watching this are more knowledgeable than we are.
This is good.
It's great because Gimli, again, it's a place that we had not gone to until maybe in the last 5 years or so, I guess, when we were, the festival was maybe 5 years ago. We got up there finally.
It might be longer than that, actually.
Yeah, probably.
Unfortunately.
But a great little town. Like it
explodes in the summer, right? It's all about the summer. And
as many places in, we talk a little bit about the Winnipeg Folk Fest and how special that is. In Ontario, I can't compare it to anything we have near Windsor, at least. The level of which the Winnipeg Folk Fest is you go camp out there and you're out there for the whole weekend. And it's just, it's such a crazy cool event.
It's a different thing.
All these people.
Ontario doesn't do it that way as much.
Yeah. They even I was talking about mosquitoes. I remember them telling us because of all the dragonflies that they import dragonflies to fight the mosquitoes. They actually have this initiative, which is an incredible, ecological way to handle that problem because mosquitoes it only gets hot for a little while and then those mosquitoes can get pretty rough up there as well for those who aren't ready for it. And then I don't know, we're going to go a lot further north for the end of this show because we got it. Mark and I with Steve. Why couldn't you come? Was there a reason for Churchill thing? You didn't come for whatever. I don't remember why that is, but
one time my wife broke her wrist, but that was the other.
That was not that time.
Yeah, it was something else.
Did we just not invite you or something? Did we just forget? We forgot to tell you. So Churchill, Manitoba.
There you go.
This is
and there's a reason for the gun, right?
There's a definite reason for the gun. Yeah, it's polar bears, everyone. And here's a shot here. The sign in the bottom left is the sign you see at the airport, which is an amazing thing to walk off a plane. And I don't know how big your screens are, but if you do see what it's a number to call if you see a polar bear in town, which you will see and you will call. And it's this, I don't know, Mark, do you remember how crazy it was to go up there? It was such a unique experience. It was so cool.
It was so insane.
Yeah.
The whole thing is like, the one thing that was like, you like, obviously you're like, okay, we're not going to really see polar bears. And then they bring you out and you're under cover guard the whole time. Like Joe and James
Cushnie and Joe Stover were like guides. And that's one of, I don't know if they share guns or if this whose gun this was, but they let us take a picture with it. And basically, yeah, the entire time they took us out to see this insane beluga.
That's what I was going to get to.
They were mating or what they were, but thousands of them, right? Like,
well, you think it's waves.
Events.
You
they
think
look like
they're
white
just
cap
small
waves,
little waves, and it's like thousands of them. And you're like, well, what is that? What are those things? And they're like, those are belugas. And you're like, but there's thousands of them. And they're like, yeah, they're all just out there in pods, swimming all over the place. But the whole time that we're out there, you're under cover guard. These guys have their guns.
Yeah, I remember.
Go ahead.
When I said we were staying at this. It's a former research center where we were up there playing this sort of benefit show or whatever. And if you see this picture of the window, it's hard to make it out, but those bars are to stop polar bears from coming to the window. They sort of lean out. And when so we're in our rooms and like basically these things are, it's a strange phenomenon to think like they're out there waiting for you. It was the only show I ever remember playing where there was guards outside for the people to get from their cars and trucks mostly to the venue. Like, you know, and I mentioned, I said under breath, I'm like, I'll probably take a nap and then take a walk. And James like grabs, he's like, you do not go for a walk. Don't, what are you talking about? You're dead. You're dead. Oh. And then remember, like it being Churchill, Manitoba. And at the time the railroad was washed out. So flying in was the only way in or out. We spent the day, they took us around town and we saw all these amazing sights, like all the cool stuff, like these ships that are moored and all just like abandoned. And then we went to people's houses to just pick up whatever amps and gear they had. We piecemealed it together. No one locks their doors. It's sort of a generally known rule. You keep your car doors unlocked and houses unlocked in case anyone needs to run in because a polar bear comes to town. So the vibe was this unique, like, holy. Do you
remember the murals? They had just painted all these beautiful murals up there, but also there's like, because of NORAD and all that stuff, there's all the abandoned like bases.
Yeah,
right?
well,
like
we were
American
that's
bases.
what it was. It was an ex-base during the Cold War, apparently. Like it was a base, a missile. There's part of that building was an old silo that turned into the Northern Research Center, I think it's called. Oh. But yeah, it was just like, and to go back to, it was just like, so we spent the weekend up there, and I remember we arrived at like 10 in the morning, and they took us to that crazy bakery, and the owner
sadly it burnt down.
That's right. I forgot about that.
But they got us drunk.
Yeah, like 10
9 in the morning.
They started the whole weekend. And then it's incredible to go back to this shot here. So the shot of the helicopter, this was when we were leaving. I took this photo. So you'll hear like a siren. We were at the airport and the plane was late because it's the North and, you know, you just don't stress out about that kind of thing. You hear the siren off in the distance. Then you hear this like gunshot echo. And then this helicopter's in the air and you can't make it out because the picture's not great, but that thing hanging from it is a polar bear in a net. And that building below is what's called the polar bear jail So basically this bear had come into town and they had to tranquilize it. And they told us this as we're at the airport looking at this, and they were bringing it to the polar bear jail, which I think they said they leave them in there for a couple of weeks to
or longer
condition them or educate. I don't know.
Or longer.
Teach them English. I don't know what.
Well, they don't give them any food. They only give them water. That's it. Because they don't want them coming back into town thinking they're going to get a free meal. But the whole thing is when you hear the guns go off, you hear the siren go off, then you hear the guns go off and you're like, that's just over there. It's not far from the airport.
Yeah. Well, we saw them. They took us in the truck, remember? And we saw the polar bears eating a beluga. And it was strange because they said, stay close to the truck. They gave us binoculars and it was, I don't know, 150 meters away, maybe. And it was like, I hope, and I remember looking in the sand, like, is this truck going to get, the truck got stuck. Is the truck going to get stuck here? Are we dead? They were very calm about it. And luckily I haven't seen him in a while or talked to him, but James, we sort of maintained a friendship after that just because I felt like he protected our lives the entire time. It was so cool.
I always felt like we couldn't get out and it was going to be like Jurassic Park when the T-Rex attacks. You know what I mean? Like,
it basically is. In reality, it's one of the scariest animals there possibly could ever, it's basically what it is. Yeah.
Even if you can put that photo back up, it's like those bars are 20 feet up. Because when they go up on their haunches,
right? I think they lean out a bit. Yeah,
it's insane.
So like, basically, and then it's definitely a good argument for gun rights. If you're out there, for sure.
I remember why I couldn't make it.
Okay, you're scared of bears.
No, it's because it was booked sort of last minute, and
It was.
I was actually up near Alaska fishing.
Oh, that's right.
He
Yeah,
was
going
on
to
a
50th birthday
fishing
party.
trip. That's right.
On
You were up
Baron
with
Eddie's birthday, and he implored him and all his friends to go up to Haida Gwaii on a fishing trip.
That's
That's
right,
right. I remember that.
Yeah,
And
we just
I was looking at Wales too.
You were in the I mean, it was. I hope we get to go again someday. It was just like a unique spot to be.
In all fairness, Steve, I don't think they would have had drums for you.
Yeah, it was. It was.
I'm just joking, obviously.
No, it's pretty remote. You know.
No, they barely had what we needed, but it didn't. It didn't matter. It was like the spirit of like a
Well, I'm
good time.
sorry I couldn't make it, but I also needed to support my friend. He was
Yeah.
turning 50, and that's like a landmark, you know.
And now you know that those things, especially in this day and age, is like you got to take advantage of those things while you can, right? Just like how many people are having 50th birthdays parties that are at their house alone on Zoom calls?
Well, I think that pretty much as we pass the hour 15 mark, we don't want to tire anyone
geez.
out.
Yeah.
That's
All
okay. We're still doing good. We'll just quickly do a couple quiz questions for you. I love quizzing you guys on some of this stuff before we go. And our next episode,
Hey,
which
why
will
don't you
be
show us? I want to see the.
show you what?
All I see is Churchill.
I'm gonna show you. Oh, sorry, show you.
Oh yeah.
You're right.
Oh,
I
yeah.
should
Oh, yeah. Okay. I want to see.
production fail. Production
I
fail.
don't need to see that polar bear anymore.
No, we're over the polar bears. But if you ever get a chance, you get
All
up
right.
there and check it out.
Yeah.
So the prairies. We're moving on to Saskatchewan in the next episode. Lots to talk about between Regina, Saskatoon, and the people we know and love there. Speaking of the prairies, can you name this natural phenomenon?
That's
Sundog.
Yes,
What'd you call
you're
it?
Right.
Sundog.
Steve is right. It's
Very
it's
good
a
work.
Sundog, yep.
Thank you.
Beautiful.
Good work,
It's-
Steve.
Yeah,
Thank you.
I think it only happens in the prairies. We've seen a few of them
Take
in our
that
time.
photo?
This looks weird. It looks like it's almost a weird camera trick, but it's not. These things actually happen out there. And if you live out there, you know what they are and you don't care. But if you're, it was strange to see one for the first time. I remember it's like this orb of light all around.
Well, I've
you.
seen it on Tatooine before. They have the two
Well,
suns.
yes. Yeah, but it's, you know,
You've been to Tatooine.
Yeah.
Tatooine.
It's nothing.
It's a good planet.
No, I
Okay.
never seen the sundog though. So
We
I
did-
imagine you didn't take
I
that.
was driving. You were passed out. We were listening to definitely not the opera when I saw my first one.
I always sleep while you drive.
It's one of those
You
things.
sleep
that
all the
Northern
time.
Lights go.
Sundogs, man.
Well, sundogs are like when you see Aurora Borealis the first or second time. It's like
Yeah.
it's pretty cool. It's different. You know, you wouldn't expect to see it. But
We can
see
talk
what
about
Robbie's
that
got to say
again.
here. There we go.
Oh.
There we
Aw,
go. Thanks, Robbie.
Robbie.
He's the best.
Sledding.
Oh, the Icelandic Festival is what it's called.
Okay.
Okay, so we didn't talk a lot. We did talk about our favorite restaurant in Winnipeg. We did talk about the steakhouse, but one thing I wanted to quiz you on, when you get to Western Canada and you're out not in the cities, there are a few staple restaurants. The main thing that ties them together is crinkle cut fries. And they're family restaurants. And Steve loves a good family restaurant. Steve smartly is always the one who will be like, let's skip like a McDonald's or a Tim Hortons and go to like the local family restaurant. In the next episode, we'll talk about the time we almost broke up the band because of a family restaurant. But that's not till next time.
But in
So the quick
Saskatchewan?
quiz. And Noah, if you're out there or you watch this later, you'll know about this. There are 4 anchors. Sorry, I can't tell which way to put my hand. 4 anchor restaurant, family restaurant chains. We use them as our trucker CB names in the van, if you remember.
Oh my
Can you
God.
name any or all of the 4 that are like Western Canadian? They're out there. They're basically, you know, your breakfast restaurant, crinkle cut fries. Try to even name one. I could name 2 before I looked them
They're
up.
chains.
No.
We've been to all of them many times, but we our radio call names are these restaurants.
Oh,
can't
I
even
don't
name
recall. No.
We've
must
been to them so
sleep.
many times.
I'm feeling really bad now.
Well,
You're
we're
making
getting
me.
old.
I'm gonna cry.
I could post them for you, but should I just name them one at a time?
Sure.
Smitty's.
Yeah,
And
that's
I believe
Oh, yeah.
that's Mark's name is Smitty.
That's what I
Our
was
truckers
thinking.
TV call
Yes,
us Smitty.
Yeah.
Pitkin, you are Perkins.
Perkins.
Perkins
sir.
Family Restaurant.
Yeah.
I feel like Noah is Ricky. Ricky's Bar.
Yes. Yeah.
You'll find a Ricky's attached to most Holiday Inns or like that kind of thing. They're
Yeah,
like, I remember seeing Steve basically eat 3 meals a day in Saskatchewan at a Ricky's
And
that was attached to our hotel for like, we had 3 days off and Steve was his
Remember
step
we
in
were
our
just like,
office.
he's still in there.
I like-
they got good internet.
I remember that one.
Tracy Rowan, good guess. White Spot is not on our list. That's a little bit further west and it's a little bit too classy. The remaining, you can't think of one. It's a yellow
No.
sign with like an egg on it.
Denny's.
The
Who?
white spot.
Denny's.
No.
The white spot. Sorry.
Not Vinny's.
Denny's.
No.
Oh, not Denny's. No. Denny's is American.
Oh.
And so are probably some of these, but
Yeah.
No, I'm. What is it?
He fell off a wall.
Humpties.
Humpties, boys, our favorites. We have spent a lot of time in these 4 golden establishments.
Well done, Casey.
There you go. Yeah.
You
So
got 'em
these are the
all.
4. These are like, I would say, prairie staples. You don't always want to go to these places, but you know what you're getting, basically, is what I was trying to say.
I can't hear the word Ricky without thinking of Victoria.
Yeah, we'll get to that story
We'll
in
get
a
to
couple
that story.
episodes.
Yeah.
Right.
And I always found it in my years of eating at these places. Look at the Humpties mascot. The thing looks surprised that you would want to go in there. It's like the weirdest.
Yeah, you like my eggs?
He looks like a little, I don't know what happened to him or whatever, but I always love that's why I prefer
Worried.
Humpties to many other of the ones. Oh, what's this? Sad news. No more Perkins in Winnipeg. Robbie, you got all the info. We need to have you as our
That's my
research
favorite.
assistant. Well, that is you, Perkins. That's why.
Yeah,
That's you.
Perkins loves Perkins.
Perkins does love Perkins. Amazing. Well, I had fun talking about Winnipeg. It was nice to catch up with Grant.
Yeah,
Thank
it was
you
nice
all
to
for
see
being
Grant.
here. Again, we're doing this every month. Hopefully, we'll see how long it goes on for, as long as we want to. I guess it's not that big deal for us to do it. So we'll
Yeah,
keep
thanks for hanging out with us, listening to the tunes we pick. These
Yes.
eyes.
Yeah, and sorry for I just
Come on,
like joke.
Stevie.
We tell a lot of jokes about.
Play us out, Stevie.
I mean, it's a good song. It's a good song. These eyes. Is that syncing up?
Yeah, try it.
These eyes. I don't know when does the verse start? That's perfect.
All
I'd
right,
rather do if we could get the Maestro version together. I'd like to take a shot at that.
Maestro. Yeah, that's.
Oh,
the
Grant
big-
just texted me, by the way. He worked at Perkins for many years. So
Oh.
Grant Siemens, there you go. You now claim the name from Perkins. We'll call Steve Husky from now on. We'll switch it up. There you go. Again, guys, stay safe. Wear masks.
Yeah.
Be good to each other. Don't be idiots. And thanks for watching us. And we
Just
cannot
stay
wait,
safe.
obviously, to do it again. For
See you next month.
Yeah, next month.
Yeah, we're gonna
Nice
just
to
start
see you,
doing this
boys.
every day. I have nothing. Can we just do it every day? Because I got time.
Done and done.
We'll do
Keep
every
it
time.
rolling.
But by the way, I think next month's episode is going to be our best because it involves Theodore, Saskatchewan, and Yorkton, and a crazy breakdown tour with Winter Sleep. Like a lot of tragedy. It may extend into bonus hours. We might have to split it up. I don't know.
Oh my God,
There's so much,
that's
so much
crazy.
Saskatchewan stories. Great music, like we have Sheepdogs from there. We have
Gary's.
Deep Dark Wood, AC and Clayton, Gary's. There's so much stuff. We should probably focus all on Saskatoon bands for the next playlist because
Amazing.
just do
Yeah.
it that way. But
Let's do that.
one of our craziest tour stories involves getting robbed at the Pyramid, which is in Winnipeg, and then the next day's drive to try to make it to Saskatoon, which didn't happen. It involves witches, wizards,
Yes.
pumpkins. What was it called? Thai Pad?
And Tide
Not-
Pad.
iPad.
The restaurant. It involved ordering Caesars that turned out to be Pilsners. That's what they gave. I ordered 3 Caesars, 2 different occasions, and she just brought me Pilsners. So there you go.
All this and more.
All this and more next month if you're
Next
still around.
month.
Want to check it out. Yeah.
Mm.
We love you guys.
Okay,
Check out the playlist.
thanks. Peace, everybody.
Guys, the best.
Later.
I'll play us out.
Acronym, that's A.C.R.O.N.Y.M. We started a little music club and we called it A.C.R.O.N.Y.M. We can't go on tour again until this damn pandemic ends. Until then, friends, won't you come on in and join us for Acronym? Analytical criticism regarding objectively narrowing your music.